with that, I am going to turn over who I've already introduced a bunch with Aidan Aumell, a big part of this whole experience. And Aidan, I really want to see this take on a great shine. So you are over.
Hello, everyone. My name's Aidan Aumell, and I'm a graduate student right now in the College of Education. And in my undergraduate degree, I got a degree in digital technology and culture. But yeah, like Dr. Bill said, I took this course in the semester that we transitioned to distance learning. So I'm pretty interested in like technology enhanced classrooms and virtual environments. So yeah, once we made the transition to online courses, I kind of created a virtual field trip for the students to engage in. So now as we're kind of transitioning back out of distance learning, we're still using this virtual field trip. And we really think it's just like more supplemental material for you all to help you produce your term reports and just get another way of accessing and visualizing Kamiak Butte when maybe you can't get there or other factors like that. So yeah, today I'm gonna kind of demonstrate the website and talk a little bit about the virtual field trip and how you can access it. So I'm gonna share my screen. So this is the virtual Ecology website, which is where all of the content that Dr. Bill is talking about is hosted on. And if you scroll down, you can see here that there's a bunch of links to a bunch of different pages on the website. So this Kamiak Butte VR button is the virtual field trip. And then you can view 360 videos. We have a resource library with articles about Kamiak Butte, just to give you more information. And then links to our YouTube channel, which has hundreds of videos uploaded to it. A wildlife camera page where you can access videos from our wildlife cameras that we've got hanged up at Kamiak Butte. And then we have drone videos as well that were captured by a doctoral student in the School of the Environment. So I'm gonna take you into the virtual field trip right now. So you'll just click this Kamiak Butte VR button. And then there's this button right here that says Start Virtual Field Trip. And this will take you into the virtual field trip experience. So if you click on this, it will load. And this is the start of the virtual field trip. So you can click and drag and you can move in a full 360-degree radius. So you can do a full spin around. And this is how the whole tour works. So it's all based on 360 imagery and 360 videos. And then as you're going through the tour, you'll see icons that you can click on. It's kind of like I'm sure you all probably seen like an apartment 360 video tour. It's like that, but it's for nature and for ecosystems. So you can kind of click on it and get more information about the specific tour that you're going on. So if you look back onto this kind of menu right here, this is like the main navigation. And you can click on these different blocks and that will take you into that specific tour. So we have a trees tour, which is where you all will be collecting your tree data and be using it in your term report. And then there's a geology tour, a birds tour, a seasonal change tour, wildlife tour, and then a Chief Kamiakin tour. So I'll just take you into the trees tour first. So you just click on that button and then, yeah, it starts moving when you enter in. So you'll just need to click and drag as you move it. And then you'll see that there's a bunch of trees in this image where you can click on these icons and it will pull up tree data. So if you click on 4, it will pull up information about the tree. So this is a Douglas fir and it'll tell you the distance to the tree, the height of the tree as well, and then the diameter. So as you click on this, you can kind of get a visualization of how big the tree is and really look at it as you're going through the data. And then, yeah, you'll see that there's 7 different tree icons that you can click on. And then you can also click on this eye icon, and this will bring up more information about the specific plot that you are at right now. So this is on the north aspect, and it will tell you the month. So it's in August, GPS location, elevation, the slope, and then the aspect as well. So this is just for the north aspect. And then on every tour, you'll see that there is a kind of arrow icon, and this is taking you to the next scene in the tour. So if you click on this, it will bring you to the south aspect of Kamiak Butte. And then you're going to, in the assignment that you're going to be working on, you're going to be recording this tree data. And then hopefully using this data from the trees in your term reports to discuss the different species on the different aspects and kind of why the certain trees are on this south aspect, and then why certain trees are more prominent on the north aspect of the butte. So that's what we're really hoping, that you can kind of use this information in this virtual tour to help you kind of produce a more fact-filled term report. And as you can see, all of these trees are Ponderosa Pine, and that is, Dr. Bill's probably mentioned it, Ponderosa pines do better in direct sunlight environment, more kind of dry moisture. I'm sure Dr. Bill might want to chime in.
I'd say they survive. They don't necessarily do better, because you can look at the Ponderosa pine of what Aidan already showed you. Right here, this rascal is 20 foot tall, as opposed to the one, the Ponderosa pine on the north-facing aspect, where you got about 110. So they actually do better in that shaded environment, but they're survivors out here. They can make it, they can grow, but the Douglas fir and the Western larch just can't get there from here. But you're on a great roll, Aidan. I'll quit interrupting. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you'll also see that there's kind of some video icons in these different scenes. So if you click on the video icon, it will take you to drone videos at that specific plot that we were filming at. So this could be helpful if you just need more visualizations of what the south aspects looks like from a distance in a bird eye view. And then to exit out of these videos, you just click on this X in the top right corner, and it will take you out of the tour. So yeah, this is kind of the tree data tour. And then once you go and click on a tour, you'll have to go through the whole tour. And then you'll see that there's kind of this home icon where it's just a door. And if you click on this icon, it will take you right back to the start of the tour, where you can select on these different tours. So the seasonal change tour is a pretty cool one. If you click on this, you'll see that there's always going to be a month labeled. So this is in August 2021. And if you look up into the sky, you'll see that there are a bunch of icons that are labeled by months. So if you click on these icons, it will take you to that month, which the video is captured in that specific location. So if we click on September, it will take you to the month of September. And you can see kind of how monthly seasonal progression affects the vegetation at Kamiak Butte, and kind of how it differs by each month. Because as you can see, if you keep kind of clicking along, the leaves start getting different colors. And then if you really want to see more change, you click on December, and then you can see kind of what it looks like in the snow. So yeah, I think this could kind of really help you get a perspective of what Kamiak Butte looks like on a year-round basis. Because when you go on the field trip, you're only going to be able to see Kamiak Butte in a 1 month period. So as you're kind of going through your in-person field trip, really try to keep in mind these seasonal change imageries to get kind of a perspective of what the difference is at different parts of the months.
I could chime in just for a second, Aidan, is to say, everybody, you did the climate report. You know that the seasonality has taken an impact to the different precipitation, the temperature changes. Here, you get to apply it to what you see on the ground. This is a fantastic series that has been accentuated and proven to you right here.
Yeah, so as you can see, I just clicked on the arrow button, which takes you to the next scene. So now we're on that south aspect plot. And it's December 2021. And then, yeah, you can look up and then, yeah, change the seasons wherever you would like to see. So this is August, and you can see kind of the smoke-filled air. That's from the wildfires over the summer. So yeah, you can really just kind of get a perspective of what it looks like throughout the year. And then most recently, February in 2022. And you can see that kind of all the snow is melted on the south aspect because it's in that direct sunlight. So yeah, now I guess I'll show you kind of the wildlife tour. But this is kind of just all more information for you. If you're thinking about your term report 5, which is like the free choice, maybe you want to write about the seasonal change at Kamiak Butte, or maybe you want to write about the specific wildlife species that you know are at Kamiak Butte. So this tour could really help out with a term report like that. But in the wildlife tour, it will take you around to different parts of Kamiak Butte, and you'll see that there's video icons. And if you click on these icons, it will pull up videos from our wildlife cameras that we have captured. So this is a Shirasi moose that we've captured. You can click on the bar at the bottom to kind of skip along the video. So yeah, it's really cool just to kind of see where these videos are captured. All of the 360 images that I'm capturing for this wildlife tour are in the specific spot where the wildlife videos were captured. So yeah, you can really just see all the different animals that kind of go through these different parts of the butte. So yeah, you can keep going along this tour, and it'll take you kind of throughout the different parts. And yeah, you can just kind of view these wildlife videos. And I know there's a lot of students in the school environment who are pretty into wildlife and ecology. So I'm hoping someone will kind of find interest in these videos.
Can I chime in on this beautiful moose you got there? This is a bull moose that you saw in that last video as he walked right up past the camera. And you say, well, he's not got antlers, but right there on his forehead, you can see a scar, little rounded site. Yeah, where Aidan's pointing with the mouse. That's where his antler was shed. So here we are in March, and he dropped that just within the last month. Shed his antlers. He's going to grow new ones. Antlers are hair that is accentuated and growing into an antler. But that's good for the deer, the elk, and the moose. But I love that scene, and that's one that just came off, about a month ago. I don't see the date on this pop-up. Aidan, are those dates not showing on these setups?
Yeah, I think that play bar is blocking the dates. But that video was captured last month. So
yeah. And to spin this around is Aidan's going to also later take us over to the YouTube channel. Not right now, but at the YouTube channel, you can see that video and every other video that we have, just like the still photos that come off as well.
Yeah, so yeah, all these videos that you're seeing of the wildlife can be accessed on the YouTube channel, like Dr. Bill said. And then I did want to point out that I labeled this incorrectly. It's not a mule deer. It's actually a white-tailed deer. And you can tell by looking at the tail. Maybe Dr. Bill wants to talk a little bit about it.
You got totally on that. Aidan is, with all these videos put up, hundreds of them. Occasionally I mislabeled, whether that was me or Aidan, but here, Aidan and we saw that, was, oh no, it's a white-tailed deer. It's Oticoleus virginianus, but it's all right. There's a couple of these. They show up incorrectly right here, but they're corrected over on the YouTube channel. And I want you guys just to say, yeah, sometimes we mess up, and it's all right. I missed that one, but you know it. We can use it right.
Yeah, so this wildlife tour is pretty extensive. So there's a lot of content that you can go through. I think this is a cool video of the moose up close. Kind of just stood there right in front of our camera, and it was perfect placement all around of the moose and the camera on the tree.
And she's photogenic. All right, it's all right.
Yeah, you can kind of see the tongue get out there at the end. But yeah, then you can kind of click through the tour, and now we're kind of on the crest. And then I won't click on all the videos, so you guys can kind of explore this yourself. But yeah, you can keep going through the tour, and it will take you kind of to the south aspect of the butte, where there's more videos. This is that same plot where the seasonal change was filmed. And then, yeah, always look for this arrow to move on to the next scene. But if you want to get back to the home without kind of going through all these arrows, you can just go up here and refresh the page, and then it will take you right back to the start. So that's just a way to quickly kind of get back to the start. And then, yeah, there's a geology tour, which kind of shows you all the rocks at Kamiak Butte, just if you wanted more visualizations, if you're not able to make it out to the in-person field trip at the end of the month. And then there's a birds tour, which a lot of the photos in this birds tour come from an undergraduate student in the School of the Environment, Mason Marin. So just know that, yeah, all those photos are coming from Mason. And then some of them actually have audio triggers. So if you click on the image icon, it will pull up the bird's audio noise, and you can see the visualization of the bird. And then, yeah, there's a Chief Kamiak tour just to get kind of some representation for who he is and his significance to the butte. And there's also a video in there where Dr. Bill kind of talks more about Chief Kamiak and his significance in the Palouse and just the state of Washington in general. So then I wanted to show you another thing really quick. Can you all see this video?
I can, Aidan.
Yeah, so this is kind of just a demonstration of you can use this virtual tour on your phone as well, and it works really well. So like I said, there's kind of those apartment tours that you come across. It's that same kind of mechanic where you're using your finger and sliding side to side. But yeah, you can click on the tours and experience this whole virtual field trip on your mobile device, which is, it's pretty cool, and it's pretty like kind of easy to use. And it might be, some may find it a little bit more interactive than just using a computer. But this is, yeah, kind of me showing the seasonal change demonstration, so you can kind of go through the different months and see kind of how the change progresses. And then, yeah, something else I wanted to point out is, so if any of you picked up the Google Cardboards, you can use this tour with your Google Cardboard. So if you look in the top right of this iPhone, you'll see that kind of cardboard icon in the top right corner. And if you click on that, it will kind of trigger the Google Cardboard scene to start. So it will ask you if you want your device motions enabled, then you click allow, and then you're gonna have to click on that button again to start the Google Cardboard experience. So if you have a normal Google Cardboard with no button, you'll click on the top one, but if you have a Google Cardboard with a button, you'll click on the second one. I know this is sideways for you, but you can kind of see that this is what it looks like if you're using a Google Cardboard in this tour. And then if you want to click on the elements, you just hover that center cursor over the icons, and then it will trigger that icon action. So I just hovered over the home button and it brought me home. And then if you want to select a tour, you just hover over the specific tour and it takes you to that specific tour. And then, like I kind of said, you hover over it, but then if a video pops up and you want to escape from viewing that video, you simply just look away and then it disappears. So that's just a simple walkthrough of how to use this tour on your mobile device. And I highly recommend using it on your mobile device if you're up to it, because I think it's kind of a little bit easier to use on your phone, and you kind of have this immersive aspect where it's on your mobile device. So yeah, I'll talk a little bit more just about this webpage. Dr. Bill, you want to chime in and say something?
I got a question, well, a comment. You talked about the button on your Google Cardboard setup, and I got to admit, for about 3 months, I didn't realize it has a button. It's just a place on the corner of the scene on the right-hand side. There's kind of a little, it's kind of not showing on the overview, but down in the corner, there is a place that pushes down that activates on my iPhone, and it is a push button from the Google Cardboard. Works with the phone. Experiment with it and just see how you can use it.
Yeah, so yeah, the two differences is if you have that button, you'll want to click on the other tour where when you hover that little cursor in the center of the screen over the icons, you'll just click on that button to trigger the action. So there is also, you'll see here, there's a Kamiak View tab, and this is where you can access the virtual field trip and then all the other information. But you'll see this one tab that says Google Earth. And if you click on this will kind of take you to a page which shows that me and Dr. Bill have been working on kind of uploading Google Street View to Kamiak Butte. And when we started this project, there was only like 3 street views that you could view. But now I think there's over like 60 or 70 that you could view. In this image right here, you can kind of see those blue dots, and those are all spherical images that you can view at Kamiak Butte. So when you're writing your term report 4 and you're kind of thinking about what are the differences between the north aspect and the south aspect, in terms of vegetation and stuff like that, you can come here to Google Earth and get a visualizations of both the north aspect and the south aspect. But if you click on this button, View Kamiak Butte on Google Earth, this will take you directly to Kamiak Butte on Google Earth. Might take a little bit to load. So yeah, now I'm on Google Earth, and you click on this Google Street icon, and then you'll see all these different spherical images that you can view with the Google Street viewing capabilities. And I'm sure most of you all are pretty familiar with how to use and operate kind of these Google Street View imageries. But I'll just do a kind of quick demonstration. Let me slide around. There's not too much on the south aspect yet. There is a couple, because yeah, I'm still working. I'm trying to kind of map out most of the butte to really give students more visualizations in this class. That looks kind of weird, but yeah, there's an example kind of taking you right into the forest. And then, yeah, if you want to get out, you just click on this escape. And yeah, there's just a bunch of cool imagery that you can look at on the view. I think this one's pretty cool. We'll do a south aspect one as well.
And incidentally, Aidan, you just incidentally mentioned that it's kind of pretty cool. This totally rocks, man. You're bringing us to our field trip, virtual reality on a flat screen. It also works for Google Earth on their smartphones with the Google Cardboard.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll work on the Google Cardboard. It might, but if anyone does have a VR headset, like a more higher grade one, like an Oculus Quest, you can use the Google Earth VR application, and you can view all of these spherical images in VR with the Google Earth VR application. So yeah, I think this is just a good resource because this class is so kind of hyper-focused on learning about Kamiak Butte. This just gives you more information about kind of what we're learning about, and then get some visualizations on yeah, what we're learning about in the class. So let me get back out of this. I might just have to type in, go back to the website. And then here's this button for the YouTube channel. And if you click on this, this will take you to our YouTube page, which has the whole collection of all the videos that we've been capturing. So the spherical videos, as well as all of the wildlife images. So yeah, if you're really kind of into wildlife, I would recommend kind of exploring all of these images and videos of wildlife, because we got a bunch. I think, yeah, we've got over 100 videos on this channel. So you can kind of really see some of these things that you might not be able to see when you just visit Kamiak Butte for the field trip. But the moose have been pretty active at Kamiak Butte these past couple months, and I know a couple of students have told me that they've been seeing moose. So maybe you all will see a moose while you're up there. And then a good way to kind of, there's so much videos. I know that. So you might want to click on the playlist button. And this will kind of take you to the specific playlist. So there's like mule deer at Kamiak Butte, white-tailed deer at Kamiak Butte, and kind of go through the different species. And then I also wanted to point out that on the seasonal change tour, that is just a representation of 7 months of seasonal change, using the new camera that we got with a grant we won. But I also have recorded a full 12-month long seasonal progression. So this is filmed with a GoPro, and it's 5.6K resolution. But the other spherical videos, the newer ones, those are 8K, which might take a little bit longer to load. But if you go in here on the on this playlist, you can see off to the right that every single month is kind of cataloged. So if you wanted to see kind of like just we were talking about, like what it looks like in February with a whole bunch of snow on the ground, and then kind of see like what it looks like in April, and then click on May where you can kind of see everything starting to regrow again. So yeah, again, just more visualizations across the whole year.
Well, you're on this page. Can you do a zoom in to the ground level and actually use it as a form of plant ID?
Yeah, so you can zoom in. You can zoom in on the virtual field trip as well, but you'll just use the kind of the mouse to zoom in on, yeah, if you're really interested in the soil or the plants, you can kind of zoom in and see kind of the different plants that are around. So yeah, it's a cool feature. But as you can see, this is filmed with the GoPro, so it looks a little bit more blurry than the newer videos that we're capturing and the videos that are shown on the virtual field trip as well. So yeah, like I said, there's also a South Aspect full year of seasonal change. So yeah, just really kind of get in and look at these videos to kind of give you that perspective of the full year of progression at Kamiak Butte. So I'm going to go back to the website again.
You know, Aidan, while you're transferring over, I just want to say it's kind of like our computers, right? You think about the old laptop you have today, and man, this is so slow, it's clunky, it's all kinds of problems. You should have seen how fast it was the day you got it. Man, that was super good and great. And it's like the GoPro 360 camera. That was Aidan's personal camera that he brought to WSU, and he used it here for a full year until we got this new camera you see on the center of the screen. And so that GoPro, when he brought it out here and we used it, that's amazing stuff. And now this new super high imagery, this is the next cat's meow. I love it.
Yeah, so I want to show kind of one more thing. This resource library is kind of a collection of articles, like I previously said, that are focused on different aspects of Kamiak Butte. So we got some talking about the quartzite, the climate, the weather, soils, and yeah, this is just if you want to read up on more information about specific parts of the Kamiak Butte ecosystem. This is a cool resource that I've kind of been working on, which is newspaper articles about Kamiak Butte. And these newspaper articles are coming from the Newspaper Printing Museum in Palouse. I kind of have this partnership going with the with a volunteer there, and he's kind of sending me articles that mention Kamiak Butte because he just goes to this museum and reads through newspapers articles all day. So he's been marking when Kamiak Butte is mentioned in the specific years. So yeah, there's a lot of great articles in here about the Kamiak Butte ski run that was proposed and built. And then I've kind of digitized the text so you can easily read these articles. So yeah, if you're kind of interested in the anthropogenic influence at Kamiak Butte, or kind of just want to learn more about the history of how humans have used Kamiak Butte, this is a good resource for you to kind of learn more about the past. And as you can see, people were using Kamiak Butte since the 1800s. So there's been heavy anthropogenic influences throughout Kamiak Butte in its history. And then, that's about it. There's the wildlife cameras, which is again kind of similar to the YouTube page, but it's just cataloged. So if you want to look at all the videos of the moose, you can click on this and it will take you to all the videos that we've captured as well. So just kind of a cataloged website version of what's shown on the YouTube page. And then, if you want to learn more kind of about the process and how we kind of created all this stuff, you can look at the About page and kind of read more about how we're using the technology to create all this and stuff like that. So Dr. Bill, do you have anything you want to say or chime in?
On this page, because if folks, you've seen access to this page on the Canvas site. It's in one of the very first modules that appears on that list where we talk about this class. One of them is the link right in here. So I think you can jump, Aidan, to the description of About Us and show the team members that are involved there.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the folks who are the originators at the very top of the scene. It's Aidan, me, Maddie, Danny Auerbach, and also Mason Medrin. Those are the originators, the folks who are on the first step. Now, all except, everybody there except Danny has been a TA for this class. So you just keep throwing that down. You can see spring 22. Yeah, right there we are. We've got today our Kate. We've got our Ashlyn. There are TAs for today. But the clicks on here will tell you a little bit about them. That is also what you see on the Canvas site. So these are replicated, and you just see that history of everybody who's been involved with this Kamiak Butte experience, our virtual ecology site. It's step by step. Everybody's there. It is kind of a lifetime membership, or is that a curse? We kind of keep you engaged in this full time, not just now, but into the future.
So then, you can look at the technology page too to see kind of how we've built this progress. The GoPro on the right, that's kind of the videos that I've gotten, which is 5.6K resolution, but this camera is 8K resolution. And then there's that more information about the virtual field trip and the wildlife cameras that we hanged up, the drone imagery and photography and all that. So just kind of like a resource for you all to kind of learn more about Kamiak Butte and kind of get some visualizations, because this whole project started originally just because of COVID and students couldn't get up to Kamiak Butte, but now we're kind of going to use both, so we can provide students with virtual experiences, but we can also provide them with the in-person experience as well, and hopefully kind of get students thinking about things that they might not have noticed when they just visit Kamiak Butte, such as like the seasonal change videos and the wildlife videos that we've got up. So I think that was kind of a good walkthrough of the site. Dr. Bill, you have...
Well, what I'll spin it back around is first, obviously, I'll go to Kate and say, is there any questions on the chat line we should address?
There are no questions on the chat line.
Do you have one?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't have any questions. I think Aidan covered the virtual ecology site pretty well.
Okay, I'll spin around to Ashlyn too. You have questions about this that you want the students of the class to hear?
I don't have any questions. I thought it was all really good, really clear.
Where this is going, folks, is Aidan did a great job of talking about how you're going to get the information for your term report number 4 and for your term report number 5. Roll your own topic is something that you really want to accentuate. You want to use it. You know that I have everybody doing it about Kamiak Butte. And as Aidan said early on, I'll just reiterate to say, we're really focused on Kamiak Butte because it's our example environment. That's where you're going to prove that you can do it here. And then as you go out into your work life, you're going to be doing that in the same sense on different places all around the world. You pick it up, you analyze it, you're going to walk through that whole series to say, I got to do the geology, the climate, I got to touch up here to the biomes, and then to that virtual field trip kind of an experience. Except in your real life, you're probably going to go there for real. You're going to put some boots on the ground and experience it. Find that thing that you want to really grow up and make really apparent. That is your term report number 5. Pick the topic you like. Clear it by one of us, the TAs or me, and we'll give you the thumbs up to say 2 things that really come out of that is on one step, some students do it super duper late and they really drop the ball. I mean, out of that 100-point term report section, they might get 20, maybe 30. Because they just took an article from the internet somewhere and threw it onto their term report, kind of a plagiarism thing. Well, let's not talk about the negatives. Let's go to the positive side, the students who really built it up. You want to get the information you can. Aidan showed you a bunch of places on the webpage where you can grab it. Use those data, cite your source, but then it's going to turn into a YouTube video that you make. You're going to narrate it, your voice, your script. You're going to put this all together, and you're going to want to use a video perhaps in that show that you make. Now, everything we support here in the class is about using PowerPoint to make your YouTube video. Whether you're on a Mac or Windows, it works fine. It works really smooth. In fact, I use a lot of the other sources of video editing technologies. I just find myself going back again and again back to that PowerPoint show, making that into the MP4 on the Windows or an MOV on the Mac. But for that, you're going to be able to capture the videos that are on our YouTube channel by using another tool inside of PowerPoint to record the screen. You'll play the video, you'll record it without the audio. You don't have to, I'd rather you didn't use the audio from the videos we made. Use your narration audio that goes over the top of that. Now, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, other than to say what Aidan has just shown you about getting onto the web page itself or directly into the YouTube channel. You can make a copy of the videos that you see there. What other ideas do you have, Aidan, when you start to think about exactly that process of saying, I want to use a video from this class? How's the best way you see to grab it?
Yeah, so you could just screen record what you're viewing. So if you want to, like Dr. Bill said, kind of at the end of this class, you'll produce a video. And you can use all of the videos that we have hosted on this site. So you can just like have a screen record feature, which a lot of computers have built in, or you could just take a screenshot as well of anything you want to use as well. So yeah, if you need images too that you want to like use in your term report 4 when you're talking about the north aspect and the south aspect, you could screenshot images from the virtual field trip of the vegetation and stuff like that. And then, yeah, that tree data as well, using that tree data in your term report will be important as well, because that tells a lot about the differences between what's growing on this aspect and what's growing on the other aspect.
With that in mind, I'm just going to do a quickie screen share with y'all again. This is the place on the our webpage, our Canvas site, I'm sorry, where you have the access to the photographs that have been taken. Now, as Aidan said, you can do a screenshot of what you see on that series that Aidan just shared. But right over here, you're going to be able to jump in and say, well, let's say I wanted to get the turkeys. I click on that button, I can grab it right here. And now give it just a second and it'll refresh. There you go. It's a super high quality image of those turkeys that Aidan was looking at. These are all just photographs. but you can copy these. You can copy to or download your image, put it on your machine, and then put it into your report. These are just a fantastic way for you to grab those images a little bit higher quality. You know exactly where you're going to be able to come in and cite your source. In this case, you're going to cite that virtual ecology page. Now, these vegetation scenes, I haven't gone through and labeled them yet. There's, what do I have here? 100 or so. I'll see the number, but as you grab them, you're going to be able to see them and understand, yeah, where am I at? Immediately, you can say, hey, I'm on the south-facing aspect. It looks like I'm in the spring. This perhaps is an April photograph that is taken. These are Ponderosa Pine. So you can use them and cite them and make it a part of your report. Aidan, would you talk about iNaturalist for a second and what they could do to give a name to this pretty picture right here?
Oh yeah, you can, if you're wanting to know more about kind of the ID of the species, you can upload it to iNaturalist and kind of get some verification of what the specific plant or animal you're looking at. And there's also a huge collection on iNaturalist of different species and biodiversity at Kamiak Butte. So I'd also recommend kind of looking at iNaturalist through the specific Kamiak Butte location, and it will show you a whole list of all these images that have been captured from Kamiak.
You put that onto the webpage, the iNaturalist link. Could you share your screen again and take us to one of those iNaturalist buttons? Because we have it for the deer, the elk, the moose. You have a couple other scenes on there where the iNaturalist might show through.
Yeah, so if you just go to the wildlife cameras page, it should be, so if you click on like the Shirasi moose, there'll be an iNaturalist link to the Shirasi moose as well. So if you click on it, it will take you to that specific iNaturalist page where you can get more information about that specific animal or species, and you can kind of look at a whole bunch of stats and where they're kind of dispersed throughout the world.
And I want to give you a caution there, folks, is this moose that you're looking at there, even though he tapped it for a Shirasi moose, this one I think is also Salsus giganti, which is out of Alaska. So just looking at him, I'm saying that doesn't look like a Shirasi. It looks more like a different moose. So be cautious. Even though it was a link to Shirasi moose, that isn't a Shirasi moose they're showing on this page. They have places where you can pull them up. They're a very good site to use. But Aidan, you've used it when you took a photograph of a plant you weren't quite sure about, and you submitted that photograph to iNaturalist, and it gave you a call on what that species is.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Yeah, most people I think probably familiar with iNaturalist, but people will kind of comment on your photo and let you know what the specific species is. And I did want to say too that I might be sending out kind of like a survey with Dr. Bill about this. It's probably towards the end of the month after the real in-person field trip, just to get your all kind of opinions of the virtual field trip and the virtual ecology website, and just see if it's helpful, if you have any suggestions. So that'll be coming kind of in this next month, probably early April.
And I will give you points for that, folks. I really want to hear your perceptions of what Aidan just did with us today. We'll do a repeat of that virtual field trip again on Wednesday. But about the idea that we're seeing it virtually, you guys are going to take a spring break next week and then come back for another week of classes. And then, golly, we're going to be on that live field trip event. We're going to see how that interaction works for you. And I really want to hear your feedback. Aidan is just seeping for it. He wants to hear from you, man. Share it up with us, and we want to make this better every time we do it. Kate, is there anything else coming out in the chat line, ideas and thoughts you have?
Nope.
She goes on so long. Okay, well, folks, I think we're in good form. I'm going to be working with you a lot when we hit on Wednesday to do the virtual field trip event. Going to go to the same plots. What I really would benefit from is if you guys spend some time on that website itself. You've got the links in the Canvas page. You know exactly how to get to this site. You follow the links that Aidan just demonstrated for you. I really recommend you at least try this Google Cardboard on it. Not at least. When you do it, you're just going to really see it a different way. I know for myself, I'm that geeky guy, but man, I've spent hours staring into my smartphone from this distance away, and it really works well. Ironically, because it has the glass inside of that Google Cardboard, it isn't a cross-eyed event. You get to straighten your eyes, and it's a lot more relaxing than it would appear. It's not like looking at your screen too close. It's a very good way to capture what you're seeing. And if you get that movement thing, literally you look up, you look down, and the camera is following you. You're spinning in a full circle, and you're at Kamiak Butte on those plots where these videos were recorded. Try it out, experience it, and have respect for yourself that you're going to see something new. With that, I know we're right up tight at 11 o'clock, and folks are already leaving the room, but thank you everybody for showing today. I really appreciate Kate sitting on number 1 chair and Ashlyn number 2, Aidan for coming to the room and walking us all through this great adventure. Thank you, everybody.